Google's March 2025 core update started rolling out last week, and it could affect your website's visibility. Now, instead of panicking or making rush changes, let me walk you through what we know for certain, what the SEO community is reporting, and the practical steps you can take right now to protect your website. The update officially launched on March 13th, but many SEOs, including myself, started to notice significant ranking changes as early as March 9th. Now, this isn't unusual. Google often tests updates before officially announcing them. What is particularly interesting is that Google mentioned surfacing more content from creators. Throughout this video, I'll show you not only what I think this means, but also share some real data from my own client accounts that reveals an early look at which sites are winning and which are losing with this update. I've also put together a 5-step action plan that's already helping with some of my clients to adapt to these changes, which I'm going to share with you before the end of this video. The SEO community has already been reporting significant ranking changes. On Reddit and Twitter, that is X, I'll get it eventually, we're seeing mixed responses. Some sites are experiencing traffic increases of up to 30%, while others are reporting sudden drops in visibility. Let me show you some specific examples I've gathered from real businesses. One Reddit user reported their affiliate site suddenly had a, quote, really good week, end quote, right before the update was announced. Another commented that their impressions, quote, bottomed out and then went up by 1,000, end quote. Not sure how much you care about impressions. And the third person noted that, quote, their long-tailed keyword rankings are quite fine, but the fewer words in the phrase, the more I drop, end quote. Now, this matches what I'm seeing with my own clients. Those with well-structured websites focusing on local relevance are mostly stable or even seeing improvements, while those relying on outdated SEO tactics are struggling. I'll share the exact numbers from 3 of my client accounts later in this video so you can see the patterns that are emerging. But before we dive into that data, let's first understand what Google has officially said about this update and why it matters to you. Google's official statement was pretty brief. They called it a, quote, regular update designed to better surface relevant, satisfying content for searchers from all types of sites, end quote. But they added something interesting. We also continue our work to surface more content from creators through a series of improvements throughout this year. Some have already happened, additional ones will come later, end quote. Now, the rollout here is expected to take about 2 weeks to complete, which is standard for these core algorithm updates. This means if you haven't seen any changes yet, don't get comfortable. They might still be coming. When Google says this is a regular update, that often means they're trying to downplay the significance. But make no mistake, core updates can completely reshape the search landscape, especially for small business. If we look at data from tools like SEMrush, Mozcast, and others, we're seeing moderate volatility, not as extreme as some previous updates, especially going back to the March 24 algorithm update, but definitely noticeable. What's more interesting is that many SEOs reported volatility in the days before the announcement. Now, Glenn Gabe, a well-known SEO analyst, noticed changes that looked like core update-like volatility in early March, including sites losing Google Discover visibility completely, then regaining it days later. Now, this suggests that Google was testing elements of this update before rolling it out officially. If your traffic has been unstable since early March, now you know why. Several SEOs have reported that this update seems to be favoring longer form, more comprehensive content over quick answers, almost the opposite of what we've seen in prior recent updates. As promised, let me share what I'm seeing across my own client accounts. For context, we manage SEO for over 50 local businesses across different industries. Here's what I'm seeing. Let's talk first about Client A, a plumbing company in Plano, Texas. Traffic is up 18% since March 10th, with their service pages showing the biggest improvements. We've been managing their local content following the overall local content strategy we use for all of our clients. Now, Client B, a LASIK surgeon in Chicago. Traffic has been down 12% initially, but it stabilized after the first week. Their blog posts with thin content took the biggest hit. No real impact as of yet to local rankings. As a side note, nearly all of those blog posts are targeting informational, non-local queries from before they were a client, and they have been steadily declining in traffic. And Client C, a law firm near New Orleans. No significant change in traffic, but the Google business profile has been getting more calls, up 23% compared to the past 2 weeks, and their Google ads have been performing like gangbusters in the past week. Businesses with strong local relevance signals and comprehensive service pages are doing well, while those with thin generic content are really struggling even more. But what exactly is this update targeting? Let's look at the patterns forming. What's likely being affected, based on the patterns we're seeing and Google's recent quality rater guidelines updates, here are the type of sites most likely being affected. First, sites with excessive filler content before getting to the main answer. A great example here, you know those recipe sites where you have to scroll through someone's life story and the history of olive oil and ancient Rome before getting to the actual recipe? Google seems to be pushing those down. Second, mass-produced AI content without proper oversight. If you've been using AI to crank out dozens or hundreds or thousands of articles without editing or adding value, you're probably seeing even more traffic drops than you did in Google's helpful content updates last year. Now, third, domains purchased primarily for their SEO value. For years, Google has been devaluing links when domains expire and then get re-registered, a very old SEO technique known as expired domains, which doesn't really work anymore. This update appears to be trying to close the loophole of buying domains at auction before they expire. And fourth, content that doesn't directly answer user queries. Google wants to see the main answer early in your content, not buried in paragraph 10. This update isn't happening in isolation. It's part of Google's broader strategy to improve content quality while making room for their AI features. Here's what I think we'll see, my predictions, in the next coming months. First, this is likely the beginning of a much larger shift in how Google evaluates websites. The mention of surfacing more content from creators suggests Google is trying to give individual content creators a boost over large content farms. This is good news if you're creating original, valuable content for your local business or your website. Now, second, I expect we'll see a significant drop in traffic to what's called Parasite SEO. Sites like Medium, Reddit, LinkedIn, that many SEOs have used in the past year or so to rank content without building their own site authority. Google has been clear that they want to reward original sources and not aggregators. And third, I believe this update is partially targeting the domain auction loophole I mentioned briefly earlier. For years, SEOs have worked around Google's devaluation of expired domains by purchasing them at auction before they officially expire. The patterns we're seeing suggest this tactic may no longer work as well going forward. Now, the good news, if you've been following my methods for working with AI to produce strategic, high-quality content, you should be protected from the worst effects of this update. I have, and my clients have so far. The key is focusing on user goal completion, answering users' questions clearly in the first sentence or two, then expanding with valuable details. Based on everything I've seen, I don't anticipate significant risk to sites that follow proper local SEO practices, especially those that emphasize geographic and topical relevance. Now, let's get to that action plan I promised earlier that will help you navigate this update successfully. So what should you do if you're worried about this update affecting your business? Here is my 5-step action plan. Step 1, don't panic or make hasty changes. As always, Google specifically advises against this. Take time to analyze what's happening first before you start to panic and make hasty changes. Okay, step 2, check your Google Search Console data. Look for patterns in what types of pages or keywords are losing visibility. Are they inform pages, service pages, product pages? This will tell you where to focus. Maybe copy some of that content and give it to AI and ask AI to analyze it for user intent, for engagement, for how helpful it is. Step 3, conduct a content audit of your most vulnerable pages. Look at the pages that lost the most visibility and ask, does this content provide real value? Does it get to the point quickly? Is it comprehensive without being stuffed with fluff? Step 4, implement quick wins on your most important pages. Make sure your main answer or point is visible in the first paragraph. Add clear headings that match user search intent and improve your title tags to better match what users are actually searching for. Do not pay attention to dwell time and think that is a sign of user engagement. You want to avoid pogo sticking, not maximize dwell time. Step 5. Compare your content to what's currently ranking for your target keywords. Often the best way to understand what Google wants is to look at what it's already rewarding. Indeed, if you grab some content that wasn't ranking before but now is, and then grab your content that used to be ranking and now isn't, give both of those articles or multiple ones to AI and ask it to analyze the differences between these articles so that you can improve your articles based on what Google is currently rewarding. Looking beyond this immediate update, here are some strategic shifts you should consider making in how you think about SEO. Okay, first, stop thinking of AI as a replacement for content creation. Instead, use it as a tool in your process with proper human oversight. At my agency, we use AI to draft most content, but every piece is reviewed, edited, and improved by a human who knows the subject matter. Now, second, focus on building genuine expertise signals rather than artificially trying to boost your domain authority. This means creating content that demonstrates you really understand your subject, linking to authoritative sources, and making sure your site structure clearly communicates your areas of expertise. Third, implement proper structured data markup on your site. This helps Google better understand your content and what it's about. If you don't know how to do this, just ask any AI tool, ChatGPT, how to create schema for your website, especially for your local business if you haven't already done it. Fourth, create systems for regular content audits and updates. The days of set it and forget it SEO are largely over. You need to regularly review your content, update outdated information, and improve underperforming pages. Now that you understand how to navigate this March 2025 core update, you're probably wondering what's the most efficient way to create the kind of content that Google rewards. This is exactly where AI comes in, as I said before, but not in the way that most people are using it. While others are cranking out generic AI content that Google is increasingly trying to filter out, I've developed a specific method that uses AI strategically to create locally relevant content that actually ranks. In this next video, how to outrank 99% of local businesses, I show you step by step how to use ChatGPT to create content that Google loves. You'll see exactly how we structure content for local relevance, the exact prompts we use, and how this approach helped one client dominate their local search market in just 30 days.